What's up? Welcome to my video, and today I want to talk about the helpful content update. Yes, that update that everyone else is talking about. It happened on September, October of last year. A lot of websites got hit, me included. I wasn't immune to it or anything like that. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about my own sites, what's going on, what am I doing to battle this update, and I'm gonna finish the video with my view on the future of SEO and the future of blogging and search engine and Google. It's gonna be very interesting, at least for me. I hope for you too. Let's get right into it. All right, so just give you a quick recap on what happened and what is the helpful content and all that stuff. So last year, we saw many updates to Google, and with the strongest one being the helpful content update. Roughly around October, I think it was, the update finished rolling out, or maybe the end of September. Don't catch me on the exact date. So as we a few months after that, it's safe to assume that the majority of the SEO and blogging industry, at least niche sites in specifically, were hurt. From my own ecosystem, which is Twitter and a few other groups that I'm a part of, and a few other even major online magazines that publish data on it, it's safe to assume that a lot of people got hit, maybe 80%. I know personally publishers and SEO guys who lost 90% of their traffic specifically to this Google update. So it's safe to assume it has had a major impact on the industry, SEO, publishing, content marketing. The whole ecosystem is pretty much in a mess right now because of this update. A lot of people also say that the results that Google now provides after this update are not as good, are not relevant, are not helpful. So this is what happened. It's probably in the last 6 months or so, and let's talk about the results of it and what I think and what I see. All right, so this new helpful content system, basically it's a new system, a new ranking system from Google that is designed to examine your site as a whole and to examine your content as a whole. And this is an important word that I'll get back to later. And then put like a sort of a classifier on your site, put like a sticker on your site that can be either poor, neutral, or good, helpful in that regard, right? And once it puts that classifier, once the algorithm scans your site and determines your quality of content, either poor, natural, or good, it puts this sticker on it, and this will have a site-wide effect on your site. It's not a page per page basis. So meaning if you were deemed helpful, you have the helpful sticker, good for you. Your site will probably keep growing. If you have like the neutral sticker classification, you'll probably stay the same, maybe even decrease a little bit. And if you were deemed poor, then your site is probably getting hit a lot. This is what happened to a lot of publishers. Again, I'm not going to go into what is good, what is not good. This is not for me to decide. And honestly, it's too soon for us to make solid conclusions as I see it. But that's kind of like the nutshell of this content update. And one other thing that is clear from this update, and now we know why, is that a lot of Reddit discussions were pushed up in the search, kind of like arbitrarily, right? Not a page per page examination. It looks like Google just decided, I'm going to push Reddit sites to the top, or more discussion sites to the top. And now, when I'm recording this, we know probably why. Reddit struck a deal with Google worth $60 million a year so that Google can train their AI, LLM, large language models on their content. And they're paying Reddit $60 million a year for that. And whole and behold, by magic, ever since the Google helpful content came out, the Reddit site blew up I think it was 6x from what it was before the helpful content. So if Reddit had roughly 150 million users a month, pretty big in general, after the content helpful system came out, it started shooting up, and right now it's probably around 600 million users a month. So if those things are not related, I don't know. I think it is. But let's get back to the helpful content update itself. I want to talk about something interesting that I thought of and that I figured out over the years. And I feel like with this update, Google decided to get back to like site-wide classifiers instead of ranking page per page. A lot of people don't know this because they're either new to the SEO game or they just didn't go as deep as a lot of other people. But ever since like back in 2011, 2012, well, you know, when Google changed their algorithm with the Panda update and the Penguin update, they used to reward pages more than they reward sites as a whole. And what I mean by that is that you could have like a site with not so great content on it, but if you hunker down and created an amazing piece of content on one page or a few pages, those pages could shoot up in the search and generate traffic and rankings, even though other pages on the site are not as good. So that kind of was more of a page-on-page basis ranking system to a point, right? To a point. If you have a really, really bad site, yes, it affects everything. But to a point, Google crawled each page and ranked each page based on its own merits. And now, Google kind of came back even further from 2011 and decided, you know, site-wide ranking systems, site-wide classifiers. It makes more sense to them. I think it makes more sense as an industry because they want to reward brands. Google always said brands are the solution. Brands are the answer. So if you're not taking care of your website as a whole, but you manage to pull off a few good pages, Google now says it's not good enough. I want your entire site to be good. I want you to build a brand. I want you to show me that you know what you're talking about. So that's why I see this change with the Google helpful content is reverting back to like a site-wide ranking system. And also they admitted it themselves. It's not like I'm making it up. They said the classifier from the Google helpful content system is a site-wide classifier. So after saying that, I feel like today the classifier, the Google helpful content system is examining your site. So it obviously gives incentives to bloggers and site owners and brand owners to work and improve their entire site as a whole. So the classifier, Google has mentioned it and it's well known, the classifier itself is continuous, meaning it always runs in the background. It always examines your site. It's not a one thing, one trick pony. It's not a one thing and forget about it. It's not a Google update, right? It's a ranking system, meaning it always runs in the background. The way I imagine it and the way I feel like this is how it's going down is that the Google crawler visits your sites every now and then, depends on the size of your sites. Bigger sites gets frequently visited by the crawler. Smaller sites that don't update a lot gets less visits. That's just common sense. I'm sure that's how it works. So it visits your sites from time to time. It examines, scrolls all your pages, and it gives you that classifier, right? Now, let's say another few weeks went by, a few days, doesn't matter. It crawls back your site again. It checks if anything changed. If enough has changed for the better, maybe it will change your classifier to being good, helpful. You will see a boost in your traffic. If not enough has changed, you will stay the same, and you'll probably, if you were on a declining trend before, you will probably continue to be on a declining trend right now. If things got worse, you will probably see even less traffic. Yes, that could happen. Some sites got crashed to zero. That's how it is. I mean, it's a bummer, but you know, algorithms are cruel. So the problem with that is that nobody really knows the level of pages you need to have on your page that are considered helpful in order to the classifier to be removed, right? The better you have, the more, I mean, I guess the more traffic you will have, but nobody knows the exact number. If it's 20%, 30%, 50%, I assume you must have at least more than 50% of your pages needs to be deemed helpful by Google in order for you to at least not get the poor classifier on your site. But even I don't have the answer for you, but this is all just what I'm guessing and what I'm thinking about. And I want to pause for a second and say that if you enjoy my videos and if you gain any value from it, I would appreciate the thumbs up, because it really helps this channel out a lot. And even, you know, maybe even consider subscribing if you want to see more videos similar to this one. Google says, and I agree, that it takes months to recover from the helpful content update. And honestly, I think it takes months to recover from any update if you manage to fix all the issues that got you hit in the first place. So I agree with this statement, because I feel like, again, recovering from any penalty is a months-long process. It's not going to happen within weeks. If anybody else tells you otherwise, it's probably just trying to take your money. It's a long process, and I don't think this update is different from any other updates in this regard. As we are now months away from the release of the helpful content update, I feel like major prediction, I feel like we will start seeing recoveries happening now or in the next couple of weeks. Remember what I said, in the next couple of weeks, I predict more and more websites will start to recover and publish their results, and we can see together if I'm right or not. So if you're asking yourself, all right, I get all that, Nir, but what do I need to do to recover? My site was hit, I want to recover. What do you recommend? You're an SEO guy, you have many years of experience. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And I have to be honest with you, I don't know yet. All right, and I feel like a lot of people on Twitter and on the SEO community or whatnot make bold predictions and try to analyze every little thing about this update and give recommendations about do this, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. I feel like nobody really knows. It will be irresponsible for me to say something that I'm not certain about yet. And I put the word yet in there because I will figure it out, like many other people will figure it out eventually. That's just the nature of the beast, the nature of the game. So if you were hoping for a big reveal, I don't have it yet, but maybe in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, I'm hoping I will. I'm working on a few of my sites that have been hit the hardest. Yes, my sites were hit as well. I'm not exempt from these updates. I've actually been hit pretty hard. Some of my sites, my biggest sites, were hit pretty hard, and I don't feel like it's because they were not helpful like a lot of other publishers. I feel like it's more like the bar was raised, they could do better, and maybe a few things that I need to work on, and some of them are like really old, so maybe I just need to improve them. And yeah, that's like, you know, a lot of times you don't need to reinvent the wheel with those things. If it's broken, you gotta fix it. I can't tell you that I'm starting to see a reverse in the trend with one of my biggest sites that I've been working really hard on to try to recover from this update. What I mean by that is one of my biggest sites that was hit pretty hard with this content is now stabilizing and now not losing traffic. So after about 6 months or even a little bit more of losing traffic every month, now I can say the site might have even had a little increase in search traffic in the last 30 days. It's very mild, it's nothing to celebrate, and it's nothing to like sell a course on, right? I'm not selling any courses anyway, but it's not a huge success yet. But I feel like maybe I was able to fix enough of the things on the site that caused the classifier to say, you know what, this site is not bad anymore. Maybe now it's just not good enough, which are two different things, and maybe that's the reason that I'm not declining anymore and even on a slight upwards trajectory. But time will tell. Again, nothing is for certain here. This is just my theory and what I think is gonna happen, and we'll have to wait and see. I believe that if I keep working on this site, it will start growing again. I don't see any other way, and eventually I will reach the level of traffic that I've lost, and hopefully even grow further, right? A few guys on the SEO community, not a lot, but a few, published a lot of recovery stories and case studies, and I have a few good recoveries in my past as well, so I know it can't be done. It's not like you get hit by an update and your site is dead forever. If you fix things, you could grow again. I don't believe in the notion that sites are banned forever, or if Google puts a classifier on you, then the site is doomed. I don't think it makes sense. Doesn't make sense for Google as well, because sites change, things improve, and if you work on a site and now it's much better, it makes sense that Google will reward you for it. So I don't believe in those who say if you get hit by a penalty, just move on and start another site. I don't believe that. Okay, and if you kind of want to dig a little bit deeper on what specifically I have done with this website, and again, I have to stress the fact that it's nothing that you haven't heard before. I didn't reinvent any wheels here, but let's see a few things that specifically I've worked on for this site to try to recover. I'm looking down because I'm looking at my laptop every now and then. So first is I removed content that was spammy looking. And what I mean by that is like very thin content, very pages that have very few valuable information on them, or don't have any backlinks, or don't have any organic traffic in a long period of time. So let's say you look at a page in the last 5 months or 4 months, 90 days, and it has 0 search traffic. It doesn't rank. And when you physically, manually look at the page, you see like, you know, you don't really cover the topic as you should, and it's very thin. Maybe you don't have a lot of images on it. Maybe it's only like 200 words article. And again, I'm not saying there's like a minimum amount of words you need, but you know, the general idea of the page, you gotta be honest with yourself. If it's not good enough, it's not good enough, and you will know it. So these pages I remove. I just delete them because I don't want to waste time on pages that are just dead, right? So I remove it. Number 2, I improve the articles that do have some sort of traction. So if they have backlinks and they have some sort of tractions, maybe they got hit, but they still rank, they still get some traffic, that's a signal for me to improve these pages and not just remove them. So I create better images, I create better original images, relevant images. I update the info. Maybe the info is not relevant now because 2 years have passed since you first published this article, right? It's very important in today's game to keep your information updated. So I do that. I remove fluff. Maybe, you know, back in the day, a lot of people had these long intro paragraphs, what is bottled water, instead of just going straight to the point. If the article was about, you know, how much does a water bottle cost? Nobody wants to read about what is a water bottle if they search for how much is a water bottle cost. So removing a lot of fluff. Number 3, I also try to de-optimize the post. So again, for many years, doing hardcore SEO optimization work wonders, optimizing for long tail keywords, meaning you put it in the subheader, you put it in the header, you put it in the opening paragraph, sprinkle it around the post. All people who do SEO know these things. I feel like now with those latest updates, maybe it even happened before the helpful content update, but I think the helpful content update puts more emphasis on that, is that if you're over optimizing for search, you're gonna get burned. So I de-optimized my pages, meaning I removed some headers, I removed some optimized paragraphs, and I tried to make it more natural, more gentle, if you will, for SEO. All right, number 4, I improved my EEAT, my expertise, experience, authority, and trust. And how I do that, I'm not a huge fan of it. All right, I'm not a huge fan of EEAT. I'm not those guys who says EEAT is everything. It's certainly not. But for that site, I could improve, and I did improve. So what I did, I hired real expert in my niche, and I let them have control of the site. For real, they manage the site. I just own it. I oversee everything, obviously, but they write the content. They put their faces on the site. They're the ones who manage the site from A to Z. I let them publish what it means, like more specifically, I let them publish content that is not SEO related, that is not SEO optimized. They're expert in their fields, in the niche. I just let them loose and I say, you're an expert. Write about what you feel is relevant for this niche, or questions you may know as being an expert in the niche. Publish that. On some articles, I don't even do anything. I just let them publish it as is, and I think it's a good sign for Google. I do that because I want to create like a good mix of personal relevant content together with a little bit of optimized content, right? It's like a recipe for success. I feel like if right now, up until now, the site had too much in the bucket of SEO optimized content and less on the like just personal blogging, opinion content written by expert. And now I want to fill this bucket more, make those buckets a little bit more even. And I feel like the ranking system now will reward such sites. We also have the case study from Spencer Hughes from Niche Pursuits that showed us that, you know, he did roughly the same thing in regards to content strategy, and it worked. It didn't get hit on the helpful content update. He even grew further. So this tells me this was a good approach. I want to do the same. So once I've done number 6, once I've done with all these, I haven't finished yet because it's a really big site and I have a very small team. I'm a small business, so it takes a lot of time. So once I finish all that, I want to do a targeted PR campaign on the site to introduce the new team, my new expert, to introduce the new layout of the site, to kind of showcase what I've done and create an exciting campaign over it that maybe will get a few good new links from other industry expert in the niche. That's what I'm hoping for. That's my plan. Will it work? Only time will tell us, and I will update this video on my channel. Obviously, I will update my channel, obviously, to let you guys know. All right, in this part of the video, this is going to be the last part of the video. I want to talk about the future of blogging, the future of SEO from my point of view. This is just my point of view. A lot of people got hurt bad in this update, me included. A lot of people are saying SEO is dead, as they always said with every major phase and change. I've been in this game since 2007, roughly. So this is roughly 17 years now, and I've been through a lot of updates, and a lot of phases of Google, and I specifically say phases. My personal view is that this is another one of those phases. Google is going through a phase. So, and the search engines as a whole, as a search industry, is going through a phase. I believe there is zero chance Google will let some other company be the king or queen of the #1 referral traffic source online. I've said it many times, I've tweeted about it many times. I don't see a world where Google is not the #1 traffic referral site online. Some people will remember what I'm about to say. Google blew up. Since Google blew up on the scene, they have been the biggest traffic referral site online. There only been, in the history of Google, there's only been like a few short years where Facebook topped them and took away their crown as the #1 referral traffic source online. I think, don't catch me on the years, I think it was between 2013 and 2015. I will search for a graph and statistics and put it up on this video. So if I'm wrong, I got it wrong. But from what I remember, it's 2013 to 2015. Facebook took the crown. After, this was a couple of years after the Google Panda and Google Penguin update, right? 2011, 2012, Google Penguin, Google update. A lot of SEOs, a lot of sites got crashed. A lot of people gave up on the industry. SEO is dead, SEO is dead. Facebook was on the rise. That's why Facebook took the crown, and I feel like Google saw that and said, no effing way. We are the biggest traffic referral company on the internet. There's no way you're taking this crown. And by 2015 or so, Google regained the crown, came back with vengeance, and the long tail era began, right? The long tail era, the long tail phase of Google marketing SEO has begun ever since like 2015 or so, up until now. So in my opinion, this is a new phase of search as an industry and a new phase in Google specifically. Let's call it the AI phase for obvious reasons. And I feel like together with that, with everything that I just mentioned, I don't see a chance Google will give up the crown and as the #1 traffic referral site online. They will not let any other company be the best at it. It's just, there's too much ego involved, there's too much money involved. We all know Google pay $20 billion a year or something to Apple just so they can be the default search engines. They don't do it because they're nice, they do it because it makes them money, and it also preserves their crown, preserve their seat at the king's table. So I feel like this is another thing that Google wants to dominate, and they're not going to let anyone else. They're shaking things up right now. As I said, I feel like once they figure things out, the AI game, the AI ranking system, once they figure out a lot of things, and they will be back with vengeance. Google will be back, and bloggers and publishers who are able to stick around and figure things out together with Google, and I say together because this is a new era for Google as well. They're trying to figure out what their search needs to be to hit those users, those new users, a lot of kids, a lot of teens that are not used to what I'm used to. I'm 40 years old. People my age or older are like dinosaurs in the search industry. So what I'm used to is not the same as a 20-year-old is used to, or even a 15-year-old. That's more than 20 years difference. It's a lifetime away. So Google is trying to figure out all these things now, and I feel like the publishers and SEO guys who can figure things out together with Google will win, and win big. That's my predictions. Now, this is not to say anything bad about social traffic. I know a lot of people now are kind of like switching to Facebook traffic, Facebook system, Pinterest. That's great. I'm doing roughly the same thing. You know, if you can get traffic from other sources, why not? Supplemental traffic is great. And I know a lot of great publishers who grew websites to really high numbers just by relying on Facebook or social media, and they don't even do SEO. That's good for you. That's great. I'm not saying anything bad about this, but I think search will always be dominant enough in the future and now, and obviously in the past, that search traffic will remain as a main driver to the industry as a whole, to the publishing industry as a whole, and Google will remain the top dog in this field. That's how I see. That's how I see it. You don't have to, you know what, leave me a comment if you agree with me or not, or hit me up on Twitter or hit me up on YouTube, whatever. Tell me if I'm crazy or you think I might be right. And last words, if you enjoyed this video, please give me the thumbs up. Consider subscribing. If you want to see more of my videos, subscribe and let me know. I would be happy to create more videos on specific topics if I see good engagement on, right? So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.